munodipaza manyembe 2030 tindoshika munodipaza manyembe baba munodipaza manyembe baba munodipaza manyembe.
Let me assure you that tomorrow is brighter than yesterday.
Good evening and welcome. This is the main news and we are coming to you live from our Pocket Hill studios in Highlands, Harare. I'm Vicky Maponga.
It is great to have you along. My name is Butler Nepure. Susan is with us on our sign language desk. Let's start with tonight's top story.
The headline stories tonight. President Emmerson Mnangagwa commends ZANU-PF Central Committee's oversight role in government's projects.
Well, Zimbabwe is now ranked among the top 5 Afreximbank shareholders.
We will look at the arts where Zimbabwe culture is to be showcased at the Osaka Expo in Japan.
And in our look at sport on the international front, the football world paying tribute to Liverpool midfielder Diogo Jota, who died in the car crash today. Those are some of the stories that we are tracking for you here on ZBC TV. Straight to our first story. The President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, has commended the ruling party Central Committee for playing a crucial oversight role in the implementation of government's programs and projects. Well, President Mnangagwa addressed members of the ZANU-PF Central Committee at the party headquarters in Harare today, and our chief correspondent Ruben Barwe was there, filed this report.
It was in 1964 Congress in Gweru that decided to prosecute the armed struggle. It was in 1977 in Maputo, Mozambique, that the ZANU-PF Congress decided to intensify the struggle against colonialism. It was also the 2017 ZANU-PF Central Committee meeting which ushered in the Second Republic. Today, the ZANU-PF Central Committee met in the capital, and the President spoke about the dictates of the Constitution to be adhered to and what is expected out of the leadership of the party.
The Central Committee is commended for its oversight role towards ensuring the implementation of resolutions as well as outcomes from the 21st National People's Conference and the 7th National People's Congress. This year has been enhanced by the detailed dashboard monitoring and the tracking activities of government ministries, departments and agencies, as these relate to the party policies, resolutions, directives. This framework has seen government officials, including at the level of ministers, giving regular briefings to party structures.
The President also spoke about the disease of cliquism, tribalism, regionalism. All these are a negation of what the party expects.
Tinosungirwa kutevedzera gwara romusangano, kwete zvido zvomunhu kana zvichikwata chevanhu. We must never, as individuals or as groups, guide our party towards personal or clique interests. All our activities and directives must always be guided by our party constitution, our rules in the constitution, the regulations and procedures in the constitution. Those are the guiding pillars of how we work and relate. You who are here are members of the Central Committee. You are expected to have the highest level of integrity, the highest level of discipline and honor is expected of us all here. The Politburo is a committee of the Central Committee. So the committee can never be the boss to the Mara. So, wherever we are, we must show that integrity of leadership, that discipline of leadership, that respect expected of us towards others from us.
The president spoke about the economy, that our economy is on the mend. Quite a number of indicators have indicated that there is improvement in the economy generally, with other people speaking about 6% growth expected this year. You talk of mining, you talk of agriculture, you talk of manufacturing. All these are on upward trend.
Surplus, which can be attributed to the timely availability of inputs, good rains, and an aggressive winter wheat program. This is being complemented by the drilling of boreholes and the setting up of village business units across the country. The mining sector, the manufacturing sector, the energy sector, and the construction sectors, among others, are benefiting from increased investments.
ZANU-PF as a party has a constitution, and that constitution we must adhere to it. And he told the leaders that be exemplary, discipline, probity, patriotism are some of the attributes we expect out of you. So as the Central Committee meeting meets in Harare, it is the time that the party is preparing for a people's conference, also looking at the future of the party, the membership of the party being verifiable, and the audit which is being done by the party. All these are some of the reports which are coming in for discussion. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, at the ruling party headquarters in Harare.
Also, alternative energy has been cited as vital for industrializing subsistence farming across Southern Africa.
During the 30th anniversary gala dinner of the Southern African Power Pool, Sadc Executive Secretary, His Excellency Elias Mahosi, highlighted how alternative energy sources were crucial in the implementation of the agro-based industrialization agenda for the region.
We are chasing a very serious strategy to industrialize. We have an industrialization strategy which we are reviewing now, 10 years, which was concepted here in Zimbabwe and led by the Zimbabwean government. We are reviewing it as we speak. We want to industrialize, and we can't industrialize if we don't have power. We can't drive business, especially small business, without power. A lot of our small producers, particularly farmers, are subsistence, 70% of which are in rural places, far-flung from the grid. You know that. Now, if they have to produce, if they have to do agro-processing, how can they achieve this when they are so far away from the grid? We have to be creative. We have solar in this region.
Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable July Moyo, commended SAP and its role in pushing reliable energy sources for SADC.
The ministers and senior government officials that Mr. Mahosi leads set in Cape Town in April 2015 to craft what had come from the utilities, which ended up with the August summit that ratified and created this, our organization, which I think we should be proud of, because it's an organization that was a trailblazer in Africa. We were the first African power pool, and now we know there are power pools in East Africa, there are power pools in Central Africa, in West Africa, in North Africa, but we must pride ourselves as the first ones.
The anniversary comes as Sadc pushes solar microgrids to power rural agro-processing hubs. The evening also featured an awards ceremony recognizing the contributions of key individuals who have played a foundational role in the establishment and growth of SAP. These SAP legends were honored for their visionary leadership, technical contributions, and unwavering commitment to regional energy cooperation. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
The Sadc Ministers of Energy have been impressed by developments at the Geopomona Waste-to-Energy project after touring the facility in Harare today.
An entourage of Sadc energy ministers toured the Geopomona Waste-to-Energy plant this Thursday to appreciate the scale and scope of the massive project, which is said to transform waste management in the region.
I'm very impressed in terms of this facility. A lot of countries, both in Africa and abroad, such as Mexico, are struggling with their waste management. Right now, you see that there's waste, but you can't even smell the waste. Where I come from, there's some dump sites where you can actually smell the waste, and we are grappling with trying to do the same facility.
This is a very interesting project. It's one of its kind in the Sadc region. Remember, in this Sadc region, the issue of waste is becoming more and more of a problem. So we believe that what Zimbabwe is doing is basically will be an example to all other countries, including Zambia.
This is one area where, if you know the history as has been described, it means a waste site, but it was terrible the way it has been. And we believe that this facility can actually be replicated in many other member states, many other countries, not only here in Zimbabwe.
The delegation was led by Zimbabwe's Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable July Moyo, who highlighted the impact of the project.
We thought it was important for them to come and see what we talk about in terms of the mix of our energy sources. In Zimbabwe, we are proud, we are leading in the Sadc area.
Meanwhile, the tour comes at a time when Geopomona Chief Executive Officer and Executive Chairman Dr. Delish Nguwaya is in China on a mission to bring in more refuse collection trucks to beef up the fleet already in the country. The Geopomona team in China visited Sinotruk International, Jinan and Kwaido heavy-duty factories, who are manufacturers of the waste collection trucks, with more than 60 trucks ready for shipping to Zimbabwe.
I'm here in China to see these refuse collection trucks for waste management and waste collection. We are ready to ship them to Zimbabwe to use them for the waste collection. I'm happy that these 62 trucks are now ready for the shipment. And us as Geopomona Waste Management, we are going to demonstrate how to manage waste in Harare. We are going to demonstrate how to clean our city. We need to bring back Harare to become the modern cleanest city in the world.
Geopomona Waste Management Company recently took over refuse collection in Harare, bringing an end to waste management challenges in the capital city. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the National AIDS Council says it remains firmly focused on achieving Zimbabwe's goal of ending AIDS as a public threat by 2030, with renewed emphasis on maintaining uninterrupted HIV programs and meeting global treatment targets.
Speaking after the Council's annual general meeting in Harare this Thursday, NAC board chairperson Mrs. Nesta Mukwewa said the organization is working tirelessly to ensure continued access to life-saving HIV services across the country.
The top priorities for NAC is to endeavor to achieve our target of ending HIV and AIDS, by 2030. Therefore, our main target is to keep our programs uninterrupted and all our programming. These are to do with people to do with HIV and AIDS, that they continue to get funding. And in terms of our priorities of 95 targets, we endeavor to move towards achieving those.
Mrs. Mukwewa added that Zimbabwe's proactive financing mechanisms, including the AIDS levy and government budgetary support, remain central to sustaining uninterrupted access to antiretroviral treatment and broader HIV services, stressing that these domestic resources have become a cornerstone of resilience, allowing the country to maintain its response even amid global funding shifts. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
A community-built computer information center has been officially opened in Mbare, marking a major step in youth empowerment and digital skills development. The project, driven by locals under the Mbare Renewal Initiative, is already changing lives and offering hope to young people through ICT training.
In Matapimbare, one of Harare's oldest high-density suburbs, a community-led project is reshaping narratives and renewing not just buildings but lives. From tackling youth idleness to empowering small businesses with digital skills, the Mbare Renewal project is proving that homegrown solutions can drive national transformation.
It's not only renewing the buildings or the infrastructure, but also renewing the mindset of our fellow youth here in Mbare, so that we have been doing awareness programs, but awareness. Then after awareness, then what? So the idle mind is what kicks people to do drugs, to do all antisocial behaviors. So this project is there to empower those people.
For many young people, the center has been a lifeline, a chance to learn, grow and dream.
I'm a nail-tech, Saga. I'm now doing an online marketing through this program and I got this connected how to do it, how to use a computer.
Taka okupewa fungwa dzedu takaswa macomputers anditi tuona tichizosiya zvinodhaka.
The Minister of Skills, Audit and Development, Professor Paul Mavima, described the initiative as a seed that will grow into a tree of transformation.
Skilled and competent population is what transforms a nation. All development is based on the human capital of a country. In that particular chant, we were saying our youngsters should not fall victim to drug and substance abuse.
ICT, Postal and Courier Services Minister Honorable Tatenda Mavetera said the initiative aligns perfectly with President Emmerson Mnangagwa's vision of building an empowered and skilled society. She added that the ministry has already facilitated the training of 68 people at the Mbare Computer Information Center who graduated with digital foundation skills, with more expected to benefit as the free program continues to grow.
As a ministry, we have realized that it's important that we work with people in line with our President's vision again to say, we believe that each and every community has got its own strength and we need to be able to support whatever the community is going to bring about. And as Minister of ICT, we have realized that there are a lot of computer labs which have been constructed and all we have got to do is to be able to capacitate them.
Under the Presidential Computerization Program, more community ICT labs are expected to be equipped across the country, but what sets the Mbare model apart is its local ownership and sustainability. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, in response to the ever-evolving technological landscape, the government has committed to drive technological innovation guided by sustainability, inclusivity, and a vision for long-term resilience.
Technology enthusiasts, policymakers, and industry leaders came together in Harare this Thursday to discuss innovations and strategies that can enhance digital transformation across various sectors. Government gave assurances that Its pursuit of technological innovation is guided by values of sustainability, inclusivity, and a vision for long-term resilience.
We're coming up with an artificial intelligence strategy, which we believe is going to outlay how we are going to be adopting artificial intelligence as a country. We've also come up with a digital skills program, the 1.5 million digital skills program, which is going to also enhance our capacity as a country. We feel that the young people are the real target. We want to find out how they can enhance their skills in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of data science, even in terms of creating applications. This really has to be done. We as government as well, we're working together with Portras in finding ways that we can do for us to enhance connectivity.
Portras Director General Dr. Gift Machengete said significant strides have been made to ensure safety in the cyberspace, while organizers of the event appreciated how government is involving the private sector in shaping the digital landscape.
We have also been certifying data protection officers so that they know how to collect, how to disseminate, how to protect, or store, people's data.
We have always thought that if we can focus on the direction in which ICT is going worldwide, and if we can work together, then we can bring synergy, we can make more progress going forward. And so we are seeing more industry players coming together to work together for that purpose.
Discussions during the summit centered on topics that include artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital transformation. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe is set to get more support for economic development and trade facilities from the Afreximbank after being ranked among the top 5 shareholders of the regional multilateral financier. Let's get the details.
The Afreximbank 2024 annual report tabled during its recently held annual general meeting AGM indicates a strong commitment by Zimbabwe to bolster relations with the bank. Riding on the almost complete Afreximbank Regional Trade Center in Harare, the shareholding position of Zimbabwe in the regional financier is also further expected to rise due to returns on the value of the facility. The report notes that as of the 31st of December 2024, its top 5 shareholders out of more than 100 investors were the Central Bank of Egypt, followed by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, National Bank of Egypt, Central Bank of Egypt, and the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Chris Mugaga describes the rankings as a show of a commitment by government in bolstering economic support from multilateral financiers.
Zimbabwe can actually utilize these strong relations to access lines of credit at much cheaper rates. Notably, given that the global markets, they are shifted, seeing the risks elevated, pushing up the interest rates across the board. So we can actually strengthen our trade finance regime within the economy, given that Zimbabwe had faced years of isolation. And by having Afreximbank on our side, this will allow us to access both longer and cheaper finance or credit facilities for the economy.
Zimbabwe has increased appetite or absence of funding for economic development programs from the Western-based multilateral financiers. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Our website address for more news and information is www.zbcnews.co.zw, and across all social media platforms you may find us. Our handle at ZBC News Online.
Before we take a break, this is what you can look forward to when we come back. Zimbabwe's culture to be showcased at the Osaka Expo in Japan. We'll tell you more about the upcoming Zimbabwe National Day. And football world continues to pay tribute to Liverpool midfielder Diogo Jota, who died in a car crash today. Well, be sure to join us for that and a whole lot more when we come back.
Welcome to Enterprise Online's international payment system. Today, we'll walk through making international payments with pre-booked exchange rates on Enterprise Online. First, log into your Enterprise Online account and navigate to the International Payments section. Select pre-booked exchange rate from your options. This ensures you lock in today's rate regardless of market fluctuations. Next, enter your payment details, recipient information, amount, and currency. The system automatically applies your pre-booked rate. Review all details carefully. Our system highlights any potential issues before submission. Click Confirm and select your authentication method. This extra security step protects your transaction. Done. Your payment is now processing with your pre-booked rate. Track its progress anytime in the transaction history section. Keep business moving. Make effortless international payments with Enterprise Online.
Gold Refinery. We are your partners for growth. We are driven by a desire to enhance the growth of gold deliveries by small-scale and large-scale miners. We operate under the Mutapa Investment Fund with a mandate to provide a secure and efficient gold trading platform, ensure compliance with national gold trading regulations, support Zimbabwe's economic growth through responsible gold mining. Zimbabwe is on course to meet the target of 40 tons of gold by end of 2025. In 2024, we attained 36.5 tons of gold. We continue to maintain an open channel for continued improvement of our service offering. Fidelity Gold Refinery is committed to be the refinery of choice for all gold producers. We are ready to facilitate the growth of the gold industry. Fidelity Gold Refinery, your trusted gold partner.
The committee.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news. Now, the country's liberation struggle was not just waged with guns and political rhetoric. It was also fought in the quiet corridors of mission hospitals, schools and sanctuaries, often under the protection of men and women of faith.
As Zimbabwe counts down to Heroes' Day commemorations, the untold stories of the Liberation War continue to surface, and among them, the pivotal yet often understated role of the Church. Far beyond its religious obligations, the Church has always been a powerful force of resistance, moral clarity, and logistical support during the Second Chimurenga. Father Fidelis Mkonori of the Roman Catholic Church, who was a young seminarian at the heart of the liberation struggle, recalls the deep tension that hung over Catholic missions.
Before the liberation struggle, the Catholic Church was already voicing discontent because of especially when Ian Smith declared the UDI. Mr. Smith immediately, and without winking, he introduced the apartheid system. And that brought a lot of rift. And because of that, Bishop Donald Lamont of Mutare started voicing very serious reservations. Ian Smith took him to court and decided to deport him.
Beyond the pulpit, Catholic missions became lifelines for liberation fighters.
Not only Catholic missions, but any Christian missions were the first places where the guerrillas would arrive. I had to lead you to be given one young lady who was a guerrilla, fully trained, and she had to come and work with me. And the purpose was to get as much money as possible, as much clothes as possible, as many shoes as possible, to take into Manicaland. Because there are too many guerrillas there who did not have enough clothes, enough shoes, enough medicines.
Beyond providing humanitarian support, the Catholic Church played a vital role in shaping Zimbabwe's political consciousness. Catholic-run schools among the few institutions offering quality education to Africans under colonial rule, became incubators for future nationalist leaders. These institutions did more than just providing education, but also instilled values of service, resilience, and above all, discipline.
Discipline was critical. Why discipline? In any war, if you are not disciplined, you will die faster. One has to be disciplined in life. You want to survive in life, get disciplined.
Even after independence, the churches remained a key moral voice in Zimbabwe, promoting peace and advocating for the rights and welfare issues for the poor. This Heroes' Day, as the nation remembers those who sacrificed for freedom, it is also a moment to honor the unsung heroes, the sisters who hid children in convents, the brothers who ferried food to the bush, and the priests who risked it all to stand on the side of the truth. From the pulpit to the mountains, from whispered prayers to acts of defiance, cloaked in robes, the church played a quiet but powerful role in Zimbabwe's road to emancipation. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
We're now crossing over to our Montrose studios, and Spugele is on standby. Spugele, good evening, and it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Good evening, Zimbabwe. The strengthening of livestock production in line with the Livestock Recovery and Growth Plan has been identified as crucial in upscaling implementation of the leather sector industry.
The country's leather sector strategy 2021 to 2030 was launched by government to enhance the competitiveness of the leather sector. With the strategy having been launched to revitalize the leather sector, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Professor Obechiru, who spoke to ZBC News recently, said good livestock and crocodile production practices are key in advancing the sector's productivity and competitiveness.
The leather value chain is of critical importance for our country, and the basis is the livestock recovery and growth plan which we are running with, which will ensure that all the aspects of quality and quantity are attended to.
The leather industry is a critical building block to the economy, contributing around 2% to the gross domestic product.
According to the Zimbabwe leather sector strategy, the sector contributes approximately 2% to the national GDP and employs over 50,000 artisans and workers directly.
Let's give due recognition that Zimbabwe has set a strong foundation for its leather industry with the implementation of the Zimbabwe Leather Strategy 2021 to 2030. This strategic blueprint aims to deeply enhance the sector's development over the coming decade. Our leather value chain is notable, well structured, spanning from livestock farmers, which is the industry's backbone.
The sector was recently capacitated with a leather satellite design studio in line with efforts to revitalize its viability in the international market, as well as to enhance the application of sustainable production technologies by manufacturing companies from the current 10% to 60% by 2030. Lisa Correa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
In the context of emerging technologies and evolving threats, the Radiation Protection Authority of Zimbabwe held the second edition of the Radiation Safety Conference in Bulawayo with focus on strengthening radiation safety and security. Let's hear more.
As part of efforts to increase public awareness on radiation hazards, the Radiation Protection Authority of Zimbabwe held a 3-day conference which kicked off on Tuesday in Bulawayo. Officially opening the conference this Thursday, the Radiation Protection Authority of Zimbabwe Board Chairperson Dr. Anga noted it is imperative to capacitate industry and the public about radiation and its effects.
There is very little knowledge or awareness on radiation, so we are actually trying to inform industry, inform the public, inform the rest of Zimbabwe about the existence of radiation. Unfortunately, because you cannot see radiation, we really need to talk a lot about it.
running under the theme Strengthening Radiation Safety and Security in a Constantly Changing Environment. The event drew regulators, operators, experts, and stakeholders from various sectors who discussed ways to improve radiation protection measures.
Working in silos is a big challenge. We know that worldwide now, the major drive is to collaboration. I think the previous speakers have emphasized more on collaboration. And what impact does this have? We are going to have fragmented enforcement. So when our enforcement, for example, we do together, like, for example, radiation, on radiation protection and also environmental protection, and we share information, we share data on that.
The disease which manifests themselves years down the line, they are gradual in onset. They do not just happen there, they take time. And that's why you find that RPAZ and even agencies like NASA, we set exposure limits. And from a radiation point of view, we do have exposure limits which
Authority of Zimbabwe working on formulating a strategic plan for 2026 to 2030. The resolutions of the conference will shape the Radiation Safety National Framework.
So this conference is providing a platform for the various stakeholders, which include government ministries, departments and agencies, as well as users of ionizing radiation and community representatives to take stock on the progress that has been made by the authority in as far as radiation protection is concerned, and also to give their experiences in the current regulations, so that as we come up with the 2026-2030 strategic plan of the authority, these are incorporated to enhance the national framework for safety and security.
Established by the Radiation Protection Act, the Radiation Protection Authority of Zimbabwe is the main body responsible for radiation safety in Zimbabwe. Lisa Corrida, ZBC News. Holawai.
Government has pledged stronger resilience measures in response to the adverse impact of climate change and phenomenon like El Nino.
The fourth and final day of the El Nino-induced drought workshop held in Bulawayo closed with strong messages from government officials emphasizing the need for long-term solutions to climate shocks. Representing the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Gare, Chief Director in the Ministry, Mr. Shingirai Mushamba, noted government's continued commitment to resilience building against climate change.
The El Nino-induced drought was forecast by the Meteorological Services Department as early as June 2023, necessitating the President, His Excellency, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, to declare a state of disaster. The government of Zimbabwe formulated the 2024 national budget, incorporating preparedness, mitigation, response, and resilience targeted interventions aimed at strengthening community capacities for sustainable livelihoods and the ability to cope with future disasters.
Dr. Nyasha Mazango, a humanitarian coordination specialist, highlighted how the United Nations is working with government in curbing the adverse effects of climate change.
This collaboration is a testimony of the efficacy of joint UN interagency work with strategic humanitarian partners with the support and endorsement of the government of Zimbabwe to strengthen disaster risk management and build resilience. The government of Zimbabwe adopted the Maputo Declaration on bridging the gap between the core of the World Meteorological Organization on the United Nations Secretary General to provide every citizen on the planet with access to reliable, accurate, and timely early warning systems within the next 5 years.
Closed on the 4-day engagement, sustained collaborations between government, local councils, and development partners were cited as central to future planning.
A Gokwe cotton farmer has become the envy of the community with his farming prowess set to add on to the output of the white gold in the country this summer cropping season. Our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafara Chikumira was in Gokwe and filed the following report.
53-year-old Mr. Albert Makovere is a consistent man who has been growing cotton over the years, but is slowly getting better with age like wine, judging by the great bill of health on his crop for this cropping season. The communal farmer, who put his 3-hectare farm under cotton, is anticipating an average of 3,000 kilograms a hectare after practicing good agronomic practices.
Ruzivo nemajariro ayo kuti specimen yedonje haidi kubatanidzwa, kabatanidzwa yield inenge yakadzikira. Masprayere atinoita donje kuti donje redu rinospray, waona uji unenge wapinda mukati donje haringospray kuti nhasi ivhiki yangu, kwete. Donje unospraya waona kuti mapinda chii mukati, chii chinoda kuti chispraywe chachona.
Farming experts say cotton farming, like any other business, requires one to adhere to set guidelines to yield maximum results.
Within the first 7 days, wait a gap filling, so that one is considered thinning out within the 14 days, the first 14 days after emergence. And then again, one of the fertilizers. Kuti kana vachiona kuti havasi kukwanisa kushandisa the required standard fertilizer requirement in the food, vanokwanisa kungoti as a group pavanenge vari papo vanoita farmer groups voita soil analysis.
Tinokurudzira varimi kuti vatevedzere zvinotarisirwa kuitwa maringe nekurima nguva yakafanira, nguva inotarisirwa, vachiongorora kuti unyoro huri muvhu huri kukodzera here kuti mbeu yedu igomera zvakanaka.
Government has since announced the end of the cotton marketing season, which began on the 9th of June, with the least grade fetching 30 cents per kilogram, while the A grade sold at around 40 cents per kilogram. Tafaraj Kumira, ZBC News, Gokwe.
And that caps it from the Montrose News Desk. I am Sibigela Maposa, now handing over to you, Butler and Vicky, for the rest of the bulletin. From this end, good evening.
Good evening and thank you, Sibugele. The Children of the Zimbabwe War Veterans Liberation Association has partnered a local financial institution to kickstart the disbursement of the Presidential Fund, which is intended for beneficiaries.
The executive leadership of the Children of the Zimbabwe War Veterans Association convened a strategic meeting in Harare this Wednesday to come up with a model for the distribution of the 500,000 United States dollar empowerment revolving fund unveiled by President Emmerson Mnangagwa. In an interview with ZBC News, chairperson of the association, Comrade Phineas Makombe, revealed that a committee has been elected to work with a local financial institution to ensure accountability in the disbursement of the revolving fund.
We're going to make sure that every child benefits. No money is going to be given by an individual to another individual. It's going to be a process. That process will start from the registration aspect. That is going to be done through ZB Bank. From there, people will submit their proposals that are going to be then verified by the technical committee.
The local bank expressed its readiness to distribute the revolving fund in a transparent manner.
We are excited to be associated with this association of the children of the war veterans in Zimbabwe. The role that we are playing as the bank is to provide financial products and services. We shall be co-creating products and services to suit their needs.
The revolving empowerment fund for children of the Zimbabwe Liberation War Veterans Association was launched last month amid calls for beneficiaries to reject the temptations of idleness and substance abuse and become pillars of their community's transformation in line with Vision 2030. 10 Time Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the government has resolved to conduct an emergency rehabilitation program for the Anga Kanyemba Road, which had fallen into a state of disrepair, leading to withdrawal of bus service in the area.
While work on upgrading the Harare-Kanyemba Highway is underway, a 90-kilometer stretch of the road from Anga to Kanyemba has fallen into a state of disrepair, prompting emergency intervention. Stakeholders who met in Bindura this Wednesday, comprising the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Raw Infrastructure Development Agency, Mbire Rural District Council, and the road contractor Exodus and Company, under government collaboration, resolved to take interim rehabilitation works without disturbing the flow of work in Mazoe.
Muri yekanyemba yange atove isolated kwakasasvike bhazi even transport chaidzo
ukafamba nemotikari uchienda ikoko 69 kilometers unoita 6 hours. Taona kunge tawana ma solutions ari interim.
Road yemahuwe Kanyemba Road nde Ministry of Transport. Isusu secouncil we are there kubatsira ndekuti inonge ichibatsira vagari vomupiri. We are so happy nekuti ndosaka manzwa tichitaura kuti isu tichabatsirawo neequipment yatinayo.
Mashonaland Central Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Christopher Magomo, said stakeholder collaboration will see the emergency works being conducted in the next few weeks.
When we traveled to Kanyemba, we discovered that the road was not trafficable. We could see some trucks, break down. So we are very happy. Stakeholders have come on board. Resources have been pulled from different sectors, particularly for that road.
The Harare-Angwa-Kanyemba Highway is crucial in the transformation of Kanyemba, which was granted national project status with initiatives being carried out to enhance tourism, agriculture and trade. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Bindura.
A manhunt has been launched for suspects involved in the 40,000 United States dollar metro hypermarket robbery, which occurred in Bindura 2 weeks ago.
Daring thieves got away with nearly 40,000 United States dollars belonging to different companies when they broke into Metro Hypermarket in Bindura on the 18th of June. Mashonaland Central Police spokesperson Inspector Milton Mundembe said a safe at the premise was broken into and cash belonging to Mukuru Company, comprising over 22,000 United States dollars and more than 9,000 rand was stolen. House and Home Company lost over 11,000 United States dollars, while the robbers also got away with nearly 4,000 United States dollars and over 20,000 ZiG belonging to Metro Hypermarket. The suspects allegedly entered the building through the roof, vandalized the alarm system and stole the closed circuit television CCTV server before blasting open the safe in the cash office. The robbery was only discovered by a security guard who opened the shop the following morning. The incident has brought to the fore the need for business people to bank their daily cash sales and beef up security measures at their premises. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Bindura.
Report from Tapiwa Machemedze takes us to a break. When we come back, we look at the arts and later on sport.
Win big in the EcoCash Chakachaya Ziawaku EcoCash promotion with over 200,000 winners. Earn at least 20 points when you cash in. Send money, buy airtime or data, make payments, receive money from the diaspora, or receive your salary via EcoCash. And you could be in the running to win an all-expenses-paid trip to watch an AFCON match in Morocco, a holiday for two in Dubai, solar kits, cows, fridges, gas stoves, motorbikes, cash, airtime, and so much more. It's simple. Simply transact, earn points, and win in the Chakachaya Ziawaku EcoCash promotion. Dial *151# or use the EcoCash app now. EcoCash. Live life the EcoCash way.
Crowd goes absolutely emphatic. He has done it!
Get ready for more on Supersport, the only place to watch all the FIFA Club World Cup.
In the month of July 2025, the world will gather at one of nature's greatest wonders, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. From the 23rd to the 31st of July 2025, Zimbabwe will proudly host the 15th meeting of the Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Convention on Wetlands, COP15. This is more than a conference, it's a call to action, running under the theme, protecting wetlands for our common future. COP15 will unite 173 nations to address pressing issues, wise use of wetlands, biodiversity loss, climate change, and sustainable development. Together, we will explore innovative solutions, strengthen global commitments, and ensure wetlands remain vital for the current generation and those to come. Join us in shaping a sustainable future. COP15, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, July 23rd to 31st. Protecting wetlands for our common future starts here. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news and looking now at your arts, where Zimbabwe's cultural expose is expected to be on display at the ongoing Osaka, Japan. That is the exhibition currently taking place.
As Zimbabwe prepares to showcase its culture on the global stage at Expo 2025 Osaka, a preview of the National Day performance was held in Harare this Thursday. Director of the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe, Napoleon Nyani, speaks on the scope of the 40-minute cultural extravaganza.
The Osaka program, in terms of our National Day, which will be on the 16th of July 2025 in Osaka at the Osaka World Expo. Our National Day will be comprised of an hour program, which will have 20 minutes for the official proceedings and then 40 minutes of a cultural presentation or a cultural showcase. So this cultural showcase is key because it is comprising a big percentage of what we will showcase at the event.
The Osaka exhibition will highlight 8 distinct provincial dances alongside contemporary acts emphasizing their cultural significance.
In terms of dances that they will showcase on the day, we've got 8 dances from 8 provinces that will be shown on the day in Osaka for the 40-minute program. So we're very excited about that. So we thank His Excellency the President for giving us this opportunity to showcase who we are, what we do, and what we love as Zimbabwe.
The preview featured precision choreography, which is expected to market destination Zimbabwe to woo visitors and potential investors to Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe National Day is set for the 16th of this month at the Expo 2025 Osaka. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
A look into the arts taking us to a break. When we return, we bring you sport.
Crowd goes absolutely emphatic. He has got it.
Get ready for more on Supersport, the only place to watch all the FIFA Club World Cup.
Welcome back. On a sad note, the football world has united in paying tribute to Diogo Jota after tragic news of the Liverpool forward's death in a car accident this morning.
The 28-year-old Jota, along with his brother Andre Silva, also a professional footballer, both died shortly in the early hours of Thursday when the vehicle they were traveling in veered off the motorway in the municipality of Senadilla, Zamora province in Spain. Tributes have started pouring in from around the world after the tragic demise of the Liverpool forward. A part of the statement released by his club read, in quotes, "A Liverpool Football Club devastated by the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. We will continue to support the family with our full support." Closing quote. His national team captain, Cristiano Ronaldo, also expressed his grief on social media, where he said, "It doesn't make sense. We're just together in the national team, and you had just gotten married to your family, your wife, and your children. I send my condolences and wish them all the strength in the world." Basketball legend and NBA icon LeBron James, who's also a Liverpool minority stakeholder, added, "My prayers go out to his loved ones during this time. May you all be guided and protected. You never look one." Jota. Many other world stars and former players, including Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, the Portuguese Football Association, His former clubs, Wolves and Porto, among others, also sent their condolences. Jota helped Liverpool win the English Premier League title last season before winning the Nations League with Portugal last month.
That's sad. Now, FC Platinum midfielder Brian Banda, who also died in a car accident on Sunday, has been buried at West Park Cemetery in Bulawayo.
It was a grand entrance for the famous number 8 jersey as football stakeholders converged at West Park Cemetery in Bulawayo to give BB, as Brian Banda was affectionately known, a befitting send-off. Sister to Brian, Pretty Banda chronicled how the FC Platinum midfielder transitioned to become a fully fledged professional player.
Kodwa uBrian ube ngumfana oyedwa emantombazaneni ayi4. uBrian ushiye umfazi labantwana abathathu. Ngithilala ngokuthula mnewethu.
Oqala into ebuhlungu kakhulu yabona like Zimbabwe yonke silahlekele umuntu ade special kakhulu. Umuntu engadlala laye. Umuntu olenhliziyo enhle ade le potential yokuyenza izinto ezinhle for ilizwe lethu.
Personally, me knowing BB, I shed a tear because when I first saw him playing at Highlanders Football Club, he reminded me of me, the way I used to torment Highlanders at Barberfields for so many years. And I said to myself, okay, Highlanders wants to do the same to Dynamos. When they brought in BB, it was a marvel to watch.
The FC Platinum family is poorer after losing the midfield heartbeat.
Today, I do not speak to you as a coach. I speak as someone who have lost a son of the game. A young man whose boots left more than just footprints on the pitch. They left a legacy in our hearts.
He was more than just a colleague, a teammate or a friend. He was a man of principle, quiet strength, deep humility. He carried himself with dignity, never seeking the spotlight.
The Zimbabwe Football Association pledged to support Banda's family.
There are no words that can ever fully capture the grief. No tribute long enough, no speech eloquent enough to encompass the pain of losing a young man, a husband, a teammate, a leader, a footballer who wore his heart on his sleeve every time he stepped onto the pitch.
He is survived by wife Sheila and 3 children. Mthokozi Sipho, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Elsewhere, Zimbabwe kicked off their 2024 African Union Sports Council Region 5 Youth Games on a bright note after girls under 19 beach volleyball won 2 of the 3 matches they played in Windhoek, Namibia today.
The rescheduled 2024 Africa Union Sports Council Region 5 Youth Games kicked off with the beach volleyball competitions that taking place in Windhoek. Zimbabwe picked up 2 victories over South Africa and Namibia in the women's beach volleyball before falling 2-0 to Angola in their final group match. The team's next opponents will be decided after the completion of other pool matches. In the men's competition, the beach volleyball team got off to a good start, beating Namibia and Malawi 2-0 apiece. The beach volleyball competitions are being played in a round-robin format with the 4 progressing to the semi-finals. Elsewhere, Zimbabwe swimming team, which is based in the port city of Swakopmund, intensified their training sessions this Thursday after holding 2 sessions ahead of the start of their competitions on Saturday. A flag-raising ceremony was held this Thursday to officially welcome the 10 participating countries to Namibia. Meanwhile, action continues in other sports this Friday with the men's under-20 football team, the Young Warriors, set to take on Malawi, while the Young Mighty Warriors face Botswana in the group stages. The Karatekas will undergo weigh-ins as their final preparations for their showdown on Saturday. The official ceremony will be held this Friday, marking the start of the games in earnest. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Windhoek, Namibia.
Now, the Zimbabwe national rugby side, the Sables, are looking forward to the 2025 Rugby Africa Cup, which kicks off on the 8th of this month in Uganda.
The Sables are out to defend their title at the 2025 Rugby Africa Cup, which runs from the 8th to the 19th of this month at the Nelson Mandela National Stadium in Nambole, Uganda. Zimbabwe arrived in this African nation on Saturday and immediately went down to business as they seek a good start to the tournament, where they will face off against Madagascar in the tournament opener. This time, winning the African crown comes with huge incentives as it will mean a qualification for the 2026 Rugby World Cup.
This is an opportunity to get a golden ticket to go to the World Cup. It's something that the country has been longing for the last 34 years. And I feel we're in a good position to offer that to the country.
It's really important that we keep and maintain really good habits. So first and foremost, we can't have complacency. So I look to the core of our leadership group in the team. So myself, Aiden, Hilton, Mashawi. It's our job and our responsibility to keep everything positive.
The Sables have retained most of the 2024 championship winning squad, but have also added some influential players. Back rower Matthew McNabb, combative Jason Fraser, and kicking stalwart Linen Satambuera make their return to the Sables squad.
That's a wrap of our sports segment. Let's check in now with the weather department.
Thank you for joining us. It is time for your evening weather update. My name is Benjamin Kwaramba. I hope I find you well. Well, cloudy and cold conditions over the south and eastern parts of the country, while the remainder of the country was under partly cloudy and cold conditions. Slight ground frost reported at Henderson, Mazoe, as well as Matopos. By afternoon, it was almost partly cloudy and mild in most areas. Now, turning to the satellite images received this afternoon, they show cloud over the northeastern parts of the country, but by afternoon, the cloud had dissipated and we had almost clear skies right across the whole country. And we expect those conditions to continue into the forecast period. But a patch of cloud over the extreme northeastern parts of the country can be experienced on Monday and Tuesday. Now, turning to the minimum temperatures expected tomorrow, Harare 10 degrees Celsius, 10 for Bulawayo, as Gweru with 9, Gokwe 11, 15 for Kariba, same for Chirezi. And the maximum temperatures, Harare 24 degrees Celsius, Bulawayo 26, Kariba with 31, 32 is expected at Chirezi, Mutare with 27, Lupane 30, same as Victoria Falls. For the forecast in the week ahead, Bulawayo should be under clear skies, very cold in the morning, becoming mild to warm later, same for Matopos. Gwanda again, clear skies, very cold in the morning, become mild to warm by afternoon. Where we expect some slight ground frost tomorrow, should be under clear skies, very cold in the morning, becoming mild to warm by afternoon. Masvingo again expects slight ground frost over Kwekwe tomorrow morning. Chinoi again, very cold in the morning, it should become warm by afternoon in the lower. Lupane expects some slight ground frost again over Lupane area. Bindura 27 maximum and your minimum temperatures around 10 and 11. Kariba lastly, again clear skies, very cold at first, becoming mild to warm later. Well, that does it in tonight's edition of the weather report and forecast. Let's make a date again tomorrow at the same time. It's back to the main desk.
That's the way of the weather, and it's a wrap from the main news team for tonight.
Good night.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of World of Business, your weekly guide to trending business news and latest developments in the stock market. We also get to cast a spotlight on unsung but thriving entrepreneurs on this show. The name is Bruce Chimbunde, and let's get straight into it. Zimbabwe's Vision 2030 aims to transform the country into an upper middle income economy by 2030, with a key focus on improving access to electricity. Against this backdrop, today's focus is on achieving energy security in Zimbabwe by 2030. We will have this discussion in detail with engineer Edzai Kachirekwa, an energy expert and managing director of a local company dealing in energy supplies. But first, we give you the exchange rates as of today.
Interbank rate was at 26.94 ZiG.
The Zimbabwe gold to the Great Britain pound interbank rate was at 36.69 ZiG. The Zimbabwe gold to the Euro interbank rate was at 31.28 ZiG. The Zimbabwe gold to the South African rand interbank rate was at 0.65 ZiG. And lastly, the Zimbabwe gold to the Botswana pula interbank rate was at 2.00 ZiG. We also give you commodity prices on the globe as of today, where gold per ounce traded at $3,335 after it went up by 0.03 percentage points. Silver per ounce traded at $36.22 after it went up by 0.42 percentage points. Copper per pound traded at $494.65 after it went up by 0.45 percentage points. And lastly, platinum per ounce traded at $1,327 after it went up by 0.53 percentage points. That's it for this segment. Join us again in the next segment as we enter into our discussion with Engineer Edzai Kachirekwa. World of Business takes a short break and we'll be right back.
Salibonani. Chini. Linda. Foloni. Mabuyani. Dumelang.
Mapona bien.
Mulibwanji.
Dumela.
Hello.
Magadi. Natsaka. Aushen.
Mwakaite wani.
Kwaiwani.
Welcome back to the second segment of World of Business. As alluded to earlier, Zimbabwe's Vision 2030 aims to transform the country into an upper middle income economy by 2030, with a key focus on improving access to electricity. Against this backdrop, today's focus is on achieving energy security in Zimbabwe by 2030. And I'm now joined by Engineer Edzai Kachirekwa to discuss these matters in detail. Engineer Edzai Kachirekwa, good day and welcome to the program.
Good day, bros.
It's a pleasure having you here, Engineer Kachirekwa, to discuss these pertinent matters. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come and be here with us. We greatly appreciate that. Can we go straight into it, shall we?
Thank you.
Engineer Kachirekwa, what economic reforms and policies have been implemented to date to attract energy sector investment in Zimbabwe, particularly as we are looking at Vision 2030?
Thank you very much, Bruce. I think what we need to do first as a country is to appreciate what His Excellence, the President of the Republic, has done since 2017 up to date. And we are looking at Vision 2030. And Zimbabwe becoming a middle upper income economy by 2030. But however, I think there are a lot of strides that have actually been done by His Excellency the President. If you look, there was expansion of Wange 7 and 8, which was actually done, and it's actually giving us around 600 megawatts. And if you look as well,
which is a decent amount of power.
Yeah, that's a decent amount of power, which couldn't be availed from 2000 up to 2017, and that was only done within a short period of time, probably maybe less than 2 years.
So could also the powers that be?
Yes, and we could actually see that the power supply was actually coming up. But however, when we are looking at the Sustainable Goal Development number 7, which is energy, and which is actually the backbone of the country, I think we have done quite well. His Excellency has done quite well. You know, there are some reforms which we might feel as if they're a bit tough to us. But remember, when you're growing, the level of understanding also changes as well, and the cost does change as well. And so I believe we've